पहले हम एक नॉर्मल हेल्दी टिश्यू ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं। Now we'll draw one blood capillary। थोड़ा सा इसको यहाँ डायलेट कर दिया है। Now just draw the endothelial cell lining on this capillary। अब इस ब्लड कैपिलरी के अंदर वी विल ड्रॉ सम सेल्स। तो कौन कौन सी सेल होंगी? पहले तो आरबीसीज होंगी। तो आरबीसीज को हम ड्रॉ कर देते हैं। सी सम आरबीसीज, they are flowing in this direction। Then we'll make some WBCs, white blood cells। They are also flowing through this capillary। So now you can see these cells are flowing in this direction within the capillary। Similarly, WBCs also, they are flowing in this direction। Now this is the normal situation of a tissue in which there is this capillary in which WBCs and RBCs are flowing। Now suppose if there is any injury to this tissue, then what will happen? So now we'll just make an injury to this tissue। Like you can see, this is some physical injury in this tissue, and because of that, along with the injury, now suppose there are some bacterial cells, infectious agents are there। These are some bacterial cells which came along with this tissue injury। Now one more thing, in this tissue there will be some granulocyte, can say the cells of the immune system called as mast cells। Okay, now once this tissue injury is there, then what will happen? That this injured tissue will start secreting some chemical mediators। Now you can see these are the chemical mediators secreted by this injured tissue। You can see the gradient of these chemical mediators। Now these chemical mediators, they will act upon these cells, blood capillary cells, and then they will do the vasodilation, and because of that vasodilation there will be the vascular permeability। Now through this vascular permeability, the inflammation cellular events will start। Now why this inflammation is required? There are two necessary points for which we need this inflammation। First, we have to remove these bacterial cells from here, and second one is we have to repair this damaged tissue here। So for these 2 points, for these 2 purposes, we need this inflammation। So this inflammation process will help in first removing these infectious agents from the site of injury, and this inflammation process also starts the events which will ultimately repair this injured tissue। So now the injured tissue started secreting these chemical mediators that we will discuss later on. What are these mediators? Now what they will do, they will act upon these capillary wall cells and they make the capillary permeable। So vascular permeability will be there। Now because of this vascular permeability, these WBCs, they will marginate themselves along with the capillary wall। Capillary wall के margins पे they attach हो जाएंगे। This step is called as margination। Now because of this vascular permeability, now these cells will start migrating towards the site of infection in the tissue. So this is tissue and this is capillary, blood capillary. Okay. So this step of immigration of these WBCs from capillary to tissue is called as diapedesis. Now these cells will do diapedesis and then entered inside the tissue. Now you can see, and now they will start sensing these chemical mediators and start moving towards the site of infection, or you can say the site of damage. This process is called as chemotaxis. Now you can see these cells are, phagocytic cells are sensing these chemical mediators and moving towards the site of inflammation, site of tissue damage. Now what these cells will do? These cells will start engulfing these bacterial cells which are there, and these mast cells will also degranulate and they will also start secreting certain chemical mediators, and these certain chemical mediators will also are the pro-inflammatory mediators. They will also help in certain other reactions that we will discuss later on. Now these phagocytic cells, mainly neutrophils and macrophage cells, they will engulf these bacterial cells. They will engulf these bacterial cells. So they will start engulfing these bacterial cells and remove the infection. Now you can see the bacterial cells are removed by the neutrophils and by the macrophage cells. Now since bacterial cells are removed, cell debris is removed, next step is the repair of that particular damaged tissue. Now this process also starts the movement of platelets towards the damaged tissue. So these platelets will start the repair process and repair the damaged tissue. See this? Now this damaged tissue will be repaired by the platelet cells. Now you can see this damaged tissue is repaired by the platelet cells. Later on, all these cells will be removed by the immune system from this particular site and tissue will regain its original situation, or you can say the state. You can see now all these cells will go away and then the tissue will attain its original state as of before the injury. So you can see all these cells will ultimately be removed by the immune system through various reactions, and then tissue will go into its original state. So that's how this inflammatory process will repair the damaged tissue and also remove any infection which was there because of that injury. The injury may be because of the physical agents, maybe because of the chemical agents, or maybe because of some infectious agents. It can be because of tissue necrosis. It can be because of immunological reaction. So now you can see the tissue is also repaired and all the cells are removed. Now situation is same. The vasodilation will come into its original place and now there will be no vascular permeability. Now you can see there is no vascular permeability. No, cells cannot move into the tissues. So that's how the whole inflammatory process will do two things. First, it will repair the damaged tissue, and second, it will remove any kind of infection from the damaged area.